Hello everyone, welcome to Life Focus. I'm Dan Meyer. What if a modern day man decided to follow the Bible literally? Not just the basic rules like thou shalt not kill or steal, but the obscure ones we don't often hear about, such as eating kosher or not wearing clothing made with mixed fibers. It's an experiment that two men, one a conservative Christian and the other a confirmed agnostic, decided to try. While their sometimes humorous, sometimes serious journeys were remarkably similar, their year-long quest following the Bible led them to completely different places.
Well, I came up with the idea to live biblically because I grew up with no religion at all.
New York City journalist A.J. Jacobs found no relevance in the Bible for the 20th century.
How can smart people believe this? It's like believing in the tooth fairy.
I think almost all my life I've tried to follow Jesus.
Reverend Ed Dobson of Grand Rapids, Michigan, lived by the book.
But I've always followed him within the constraints of a religious school, a religious denomination, or a church.
Inspired by A.J.'s best-selling book, The Year of Living Biblically, Ed decided he would follow Jesus' teachings for a whole year.
I think what I was trying to do for the first time was try to eliminate all of the religious, theological, denominational constraints and go back to what Jesus said.
A.J. counted 700 biblical laws he needed to follow, including the obvious Golden Rule and the 10 Commandments.
Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. But there are also these dozens of other rules that I never heard of, like that you cannot wear clothes made of mixed fibers. And I thought, well, why would God care? But I thought I would never know if they have any meaning or affect my life in a good way unless I try them.
I quit listening to Pink Floyd, Dropkick Murphy, U2, the Rolling Stones, all my favorite bands, and focused for a whole year just on listening to the Gospels.
Diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, Ed listened rather than read the 4 books in the Bible that document Jesus' life and teachings.
I found it to be really powerful. I felt at times like I was caught up in the story, that I was really standing there listening to Jesus, that in a small way I was identifying with his suffering.
Living from the Bible changed every aspect of their lives. But could two men adjust the way they walk, talk, and think without going completely crazy?
Even in New York, a guy looking like Moses. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. People will cross the street to avoid you or give you money.
I thought maybe like A.J. Jacobs, I'd wear me a robe and carry a staff. But because the middle of winter, it gets kind of cold, and a robe and sandals would not be good.
In Leviticus, it says you cannot shave the corners of your beard. And I didn't know where the corners were, so I just let the whole thing grow.
I walk along the pier carrying a Bible, and I throw these breadcrumbs out on the water, and these fishermen are looking at me like, what a complete stupid idiot.
I herded sheep in Israel.
I ate kosher, which is a pain in the neck.
I got every beer joke in the world, a ZZ Top, Abraham Lincoln. People called me the Unabomber.
I observed the Sabbath, which is a pain in the neck.
So it was a physical transformation as well as this internal and spiritual transformation.
As their beards grew longer, their wives' patience grew shorter.
Never liked facial hair on any of my significant others.
The traditions and rules were sometimes hard for Julie Jacobs to understand.
And if you follow Leviticus really strictly, you cannot sit on a seat where a woman in her time of month has sat.
The impurity of it implied that there was something wrong with me.
And she found this offensive, so she sat in every seat in our apartment during my years. I had to buy my own seat to carry around, a little portable chair, my island of purity. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman.
Behind the rigorous rules and sometimes humorous regulations lies a humble quest for something more.
I went into this project with deep curiosity and earnestness, and I really wanted to learn about religion and see how it would affect my life.
Ed wanted to see how living like Jesus would affect his numbered days.
It's not just a path to heaven. It's not just about what you believe. It's about how you live that out in a practical way.